Hello there. We finally made it. Since 2012, we've heard rumors that Obi-Wan was getting a trilogy and then a standalone movie, and now we know that on May 27th, we are finally getting Obi-Wan Kenobi. The trailer came out a few weeks ago, and I've been dying to talk about it with you guys. If you're new around these parts of the galaxy, hello there, I'm Michael J, and I asked 32,000 people what they wanted to see in the new Kenobi show, and out of the 360 comments you guys left, you guys came up with some amazing ideas. So I wanted to sit down and go over the top 10 things we needed to see in the Kenobi show. And after it comes out in May, I'm going to be coming back to this video with a checklist and see how many of these things they decided to put in the show. If you enjoy Star Wars, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button so you can join the rest of us on the high ground alongside Kenobi. Trust me, because when this show comes out, that's where you're going to want to be. I am so excited to see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen come back to the big screen to reprise their roles, and I can only hope they stuff the show full of all of the amazing things that we're going to be talking about. Before we start off, let's just say everything that's confirmed for Kenobi. We basically have a release date of May 27th, originally the 25th, the 45th anniversary of A New Hope. We know obviously Obi-Wan Kenobi will be in it along with Darth Vader, Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru, and a couple of Inquisitors, as well as a young Luke. We also know that Obi-Wan and Vader will fight in what is called the rematch of the century. Other than that, we don't really know too much about it. So I'm going to tell you everything I want to see in this show. Everything that we want to see in this show. The first thing that I think we need to see in this show is Obi-Wan actually struggling. This is literally the worst part of his entire life, the darkest part. This show will pick up after his brother and friend just betrayed him and turned to the dark side. Almost all the Jedi across the galaxy have just been betrayed and killed off by the clones they fought alongside of, including his own Commander Cody turning on him and trying to kill him. Obi-Wan is going into isolation to hide himself, to protect the Jedi Order and protect the one who can bring it back, Anakin's son, Luke. Obi-Wan's main mission in Kenobi is to protect Luke Skywalker, but after everything that happened, he's going to be in such a dark place, mentally and emotionally. We can kind of see a glimpse of it in the trailer with Kenobi giving up on the Jedi way because he's just been broken. He's been through so much from the Phantom Menace up until now. He lost his master, Qui-Gon Jinn. He lost his love, Satine. And his apprentice, who he loved as a brother, has now become the monster Darth Vader. What's that thing that the Joker says?
One bad day.
It only takes one bad day to reduce the sanest man to insanity. Well, Obi-Wan has had multiple bad years. It's all just been piling up until this point. He followed the Jedi Code exactly, and everything around him has failed, and now he's all alone. I think it's only realistic to see him actually deal with all this trauma and the struggles he'll have in his journey along the way. I think Obi-Wan might pull an Andrew Garfield and stop pulling his punches towards one of the 4 Inquisitors in this show, just because at this point he has nothing left to lose, which, speaking of, brings us right to the next point. Obi-Wan Kenobi needs to face off against the Grand Inquisitor, the 3rd sister, and the 5th brother, as well as the unknown Inquisitor who looks a lot like the 7th sister. We need some nice, long, well-choreographed lightsaber duels. I would be so happy if they brought back Nick Gillard, the original stunt coordinator from the prequels, back on board to script some amazing fight scenes. If you put the lightsaber fights from the prequels next to the sequels, there is such a huge difference, it'll just make you sad. I really hope they don't mess this up, as the prequels were near the peak of intense, hyperactive, calculated duels. It would be a little bit of a letdown if we got slow-paced fights that looked like they were just stumbling around and it looked like they never used a lightsaber before. And if you don't remember, the Inquisitors, these guys, all of them except for the 3rd sister, were in Star Wars Rebels. The mission of the Inquisitors is to hunt down the surviving Jedi and kill them all off. And now 4 of them are going after Obi-Wan. I really want to see these guys do some damage because in Rebels, they aren't even that big of a threat. They don't kill anyone we know and are killed pretty easily by Maul, Ahsoka, and Kanan. Not to mention, I need to make an entire video on how they look, but that's besides the point. The Grand Inquisitor and the 5th brother look like they went into ludicrous speed and fell out of their ship on their head. The Grand Inquisitor species, the Powin, have been in live action before in Revenge of the Sith, and they looked amazing. And he could have looked a little similar to how he does in Rebels even. How do some edits online look better than the actual character? I just don't get it. I know it might be harder to do stunts and all those prosthetics, but still, we shouldn't be going backwards. The short tails on Ahsoka's head is understandable because it's such a minute difference. In Cad Bane, the lighter color is completely fine, but the face shape, we've had Duros in live action before and he looks nothing like them. And now this? The next thing I think we can all agree that we need to see in Kenobi is flashbacks to mistakes or bad memories in his past. I want to see memories of Satine or a dream of what would have happened if he left the Jedi Order with her. Like I said before, I want to see Obi-Wan with no faith in Kenobi. Obi-Wan has deep regret for letting Satine die. We should see a nightmare scene of Darth Maul killing Satine while Obi-Wan just watches in horror. Or maybe some Clone Wars PTSD from one of the famous battles like the Citadel arc. But above all else, I want to see an appearance from Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars Legends is such an interesting character. The book series Jedi Apprentice, which is just a really good series as a whole, explores the relationship of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan before the events of The Phantom Menace, and that adds so much depth and emotion to their characters. I would love to see these two reunited like that in Kenobi. I feel like that'd be so cool. I remember reading those books as a kid and absolutely loving them. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are awesome together, and I've always felt like we never got enough of them ever since Qui-Gon was killed off after just one movie. This would be the perfect opportunity to bring Liam Neeson back to reprise his role. And you know the ball of sass that is Obi-Wan Kenobi would have quite a few things to say to Qui-Gon about training Anakin. Can you imagine episode 1 of Kenobi, Obi-Wan won't help the main mission of the show, and then Qui-Gon's Force Ghost appears, he inspires Obi-Wan and tells him Luke is important or Anakin is not lost? I just think I want more Qui-Gon in live action, and I don't really care how we get it. This opportunity is so perfect. What do you guys think? Also, just a little heads up, if you want to come talk about Star Wars with us and other Star Wars friendos in the Discord, we have an entire channel dedicated to Star Wars. I'm going to leave the link to it in the pinned comment. After the video, you should come say hi. And like I was saying, speaking of live action, I think it's only fair that we finally see two special people in live action who we've never seen before. I want to see Rex and or Cody. I feel selfish for saying that, but I feel like now that Temuera Morrison is back, it's only right that we get some Rex and Cody. I mean, I feel like Cody would work better in this show, and maybe Rex could debut in the Ahsoka show. I just want Rex here to see his reaction to Anakin being Vader, but they might explore that in Bad Batch Season 2 or something. Plus, right now, Rex is chilling on an ATTE with Wolf and Gregor. But imagine after Revenge of the Sith, Cody and the 212th Troopers were ordered to kill Obi-Wan, and he just barely got away. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some bad blood between them still. This is probably the most unlikely thing we'll actually see on the list come true, but it would just be so awesome to see. As for casting, Temuera Morrison would probably have to play all clones in live action. He already played Jango Fett, so he would have to play all the live action clones of himself. I feel like it'd be ever so slightly weird to hear Temuera Morrison's voice playing Cody instead of Bradley D. Baker, who voiced all the clones in Clone Wars. But after all, Tem voiced him in episode 3 and Baker came second. It's just after 8 seasons, we're so used to hearing Cody from Baker, but I'd be happy either way. What if Cody in this show is loyal to the Empire and helps the Inquisitors hunt down Kenobi? That would be crazy. Again, this is very unlikely to actually happen, but you have to admit, everyone is dying to see a Cody Kenobi reunion. But now it's time to talk about the extremely loud breathing elephant in the room. Hayden Christensen is confirmed to be returning as Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in Kenobi. There are so many things I want to see from him and Obi-Wan reuniting. I want to see flashbacks to times in the Clone Wars that we've never seen before in live action. And I want to see Obi-Wan's pain of losing his brother. In that scene at the end of their fight on Mustafar, Obi-Wan is crying because he just lost his best friend and his brother. But that's what I want to see in Kenobi. I want to see emotion from both of these incredible actors. From Obi-Wan, heartbreak, and from Anakin, fear. I want to see Darth Vader driven by anger, but also fear. Deborah Chow, the director of the show, said that Darth Vader isn't the same one in A New Hope. I feel like it's because Vader is afraid of Kenobi. Remember the last time they fought? Obi-Wan served Anakin up extra crispy. Darth Vader is a character with so many complex layers, and we could finally see that in Kenobi. We could see under all those layers of hate and suffering and revenge that he also just got put in his place. Vader is unhinged during Rogue One, Rebels, etc., because he has to build up this name to be feared by. But Vader has got to realize the only way to end this is to kill Obi-Wan, by either his hand or the Inquisitors. That's why I think Vader will believe he killed off Obi-Wan. He believes he won, but it's a hollow victory. He just killed his brother for the Empire. If you've noticed, I've been using the word brother a lot in this video. That's because the biggest thing I want this show to explore is the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Every move they make to hurt one another should hurt themselves, because they were master and student for about 13 years. They trusted each other more than anyone in the galaxy, and now Anakin is the student of Palpatine, the Dark Sith who's been playing the puppeteer behind the scenes for all these years. Maul, Dooku, Grievous, and now Vader. Now, the rest of these things are kind of small, but I feel like it wouldn't be true to Kenobi if we didn't see at least some of these. First thing, if we don't see Qui-Gon, I think it'd be cool at the very least to see his lightsaber. After Obi-Wan used it to kill off, in quotation marks, Maul for the first time, he was still holding onto his master's saber. I think in Legends, he actually used it for a little bit before he got his new lightsaber that we see him wield in Attack of the Clones, and he passed Qui-Gon's saber down to Anakin to use for training for a bit before Anakin got his own lightsaber, and then Qui-Gon's saber was put on display or dedicated to the Jedi Temple. Feel free to help me out in the comments if you know what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure it's totally possible that Obi-Wan could still be in possession of Qui-Gon's lightsaber, or could have taken it with him into exile after they went back to the temple to send out the warning to the remaining Jedi. It wouldn't be too hard to believe, even though attachment is said to be forbidden for Jedi, he did love his master, and this is the only remaining thing that is left from him. It only seems right that Kenobi could find a good use for it at some point in time. I think it would be cool to see even a little bit in the show. I'm also super excited for the young Luke interactions, but I feel like those are almost given. I hope he gets some good screen time though. I would also really like to see Vader chasing and hunting down Obi-Wan. It'd be really interesting to see them both sensing one another, bringing back all those emotions and all that pain that they both have. And I don't know if they'll do this next one, but I really think this show is the appropriate time to eventually establish how Kenobi got the name Old Ben, or what specifically made him change it. And I don't mind if they do it, as it's the right time for it to happen as long as it's not forced. I wasn't too fond of how or even why they gave Solo his name in the Solo movie and felt like it was a little lackluster, but different people are handling this show, and I have a little more faith that they would do it justice since their success with Mando. And last but not least, I think to start the show off, we need a solid hello there. If there isn't a single hello there in the show, I think I might just turn to the dark side myself. Is it even Obi-Wan if there isn't a hello there? What do you hope to see in this show the most? Tell me in the comments. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, I will see you in the comments. Peace.